I'm not.
Okay.
If you're trying to catch me in a hot take, it's not. I've argued.
Do you think I'm trying to trap you after what I said to you?
You know, if you're going to admit to any crimes, I would really rather not be listed on whatever federal reports are filed. So I would prefer it be done in a video on your stream, unrelated to my own.
Okay, so I'm Mr. Girl. My channel is about empathizing with people who have different political beliefs from you. Your channel is pretty partisan.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And it's almost designed to be a pipeline, like kind of the way you talk and interact with people.
Yeah, I would say
right,
so.
Like you're trying to draw people towards your view.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And my channel is kind of the opposite. I'm not trying to drive people away from my view, but it's more about like convincing people to understand and empathize with and kind of humanize those that they disagree with the most.
I don't think there's anything antithetical about the positions, though. After all, even if you despise a person and their positions, you have to humanize them because otherwise you alienate yourself from the potential of adopting those views in the future. So, for example, if you completely otherize or dehumanize, say, fascists, you make it as though they're not human. Well, unfortunately, humans turn into fascists. So if you treat them in that way, people adopt the impression that, you know, for example, the Nazis are some entirely otherworldly thing, that it's not really a human issue. It's some magical evil that, you know, snatches people in their sleep. So you need to be more nuanced than that so people can understand these problems take root in all of us.
I guess I just think that you speak very dismissively of ideas that you disagree with, particularly ideas that you super disagree with, like Nazism.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, yeah, you can speak
So,
dismissively of the ideas, but you have to recognize that however malicious the ideas, you know, they can take root in people. And I suppose you can be sympathetic to the circumstances by which a person comes to adopt them, if for no other reason than because that sympathy can help you challenge those ideas, but not the ideas themselves.
So I think we do have pretty different values. You're comfortable saying fuck Nazis, and I'm not. That's why pedophilia is so attractive to me.
I think that disliking pedophilia is a fairly bipartisan affair.
I'm trying to talk people out of stuff, and you're trying to talk people into stuff.
You can talk people out of stuff as well, if it's transphobia or racism or whatever. But of course,
but that's also talking them into. You're trying to move them to a specific location, and I'm saying, I'm trying to actively not do that.
You think there's something wrong with pushing a person towards anti-racism?
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
White grievance?
Well, white grievance has been around for a while. You had that back in response to the civil rights movement, and stuff even before then, abolitionism. They formed the KKK because of abolitionism, after all. I mean, it seems like the blowback you're referring to is an inevitable product of any kind of civil rights push.
Freeing the slaves didn't go that well. I would say that, like, a war is a good metric for, like, that rollout didn't work.
Well, it wasn't really a rollout. We had to kill a bunch of folk.
Well, I'm saying maybe we didn't have to.
Well, how do you figure that? The South started the war.
I don't know what we're also the folk that were killed for Americans.
Well, I'm grouping us into anti and pro-slavery here, which I'd happily consider myself part of the we that had to kill them. But
okay, but you see, my theoretical approach to this is entirely different from yours, whereas I think of the South as the we as well.
And what about the slaves? Where do they fit?
They're also the we.
Well, don't you think the we that is the slaves might actually be okay with the fact that we had to fight a civil war to free us?
You know, the Civil War was not ideal. It obviously would have been better to convince people.
Ideal. I mean, if you want to look back over everything in history and argue whether or not it was ideal, well, sure, it wasn't ideal. Nothing's ideal.
Well, I didn't mean to present that as a binary. I'm saying it went badly.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't give up their slaves. They left the Union.
But the way we did the abolition...
How would you have solved things then?
I would do what I'm doing now. I would try to get people to humanize each other. I think if you can...
I think that you'll find the slave owners of the South were not amicable to your particular approach. So, with regards to the war effort, we could have fought the Civil War or not. Mind you, the South started it, you know, so it's not as though the North had prompted it. Hold on. So if you were there, I mean, you can say, oh, I would have convinced him to stop slavery. But like, if you
Yes,
want to do
that's
right, okay, sure, then you could have convinced Hitler to not do the Holocaust, and you
I
could
would have
have.
done that too.
So is there any utility to your position here, or would you have just been sort of a time traveling saint, preventing all these atrocities that somehow the world's best statesmen weren't able to prevent in their time?
I don't think that you're being very fair in your setups for these questions.
Saying that
I
you
think
would
that
have debated them
yeah.
out of slaveholding is kind of an odd way of going about it, no?
Well, I only said that because you made me say it. And you want me to keep saying weird shit? Yes, I'm a pedophile. Yes, I would be a time traveling saint. And I've traveled here to you, Vaush. I'm here now to work my saintlyhood, and you're going to bear witness to it.
All right.
And it's
Well,
going to change your life.
then convince me, if you
Well, I
will.
don't want to convince you. Okay, we can talk about that, but I just want to acknowledge what's happening here. First, I'm just trying to introduce myself. I don't want to debate you.
Mm-hmm. The issue is that what you're saying is meaningless. If your prescription here is that
I'm
any
not
historical,
prescribing
hold
anything.
on,
Well, what about this, and this? And it's a debate. I don't want to debate you about that specifically. If you want to I mean, it's really a value difference. Like
what is the
if
value
you
difference?
um that I believe um you know, fuck Antifa, BLM's a terrorist organization.
There's no sociological justification, not prescriptively, for hating Jews, black people, gay people. There's a very good one for hating Nazis. Actually, there are quite a few.
I think there are legitimate reasons to dislike black people or Jews statistically.
What would those be?
Do you still want to discuss one of these three topics?
I'm not going anywhere. Sure.
Well, I was more asking if are you going to eject me, or are we?
No, I'm not ejecting you.
Well, let's just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm
So,
not going anywhere.
do you want to pick one of these topics? Should we let the chat pick one?
No,
Or-
dealer's choice. What do you have the strongest opinions on?
Well, I just talked to Destiny about gender for a long time the other day.
Well, then perhaps out of respect for the people who watch both of our channels, the poor bastards, you should talk about BLM or something else.
Something else, meaning pedophilia.
Or that.
Well, what'd you say? I've seen no moral or legal argument about why child porn should be illegal.
I think that my views on the subject are quite a lot less controversial than most people believe. I think I was making a very spicy argument against unethical commodity consumption that has been wildly misinterpreted. Such is life.
Okay, let's talk about pedophilia. Do you want to explain yourself, Vash?
Oh, it's probably nothing my community hasn't heard, and also probably nothing you've not heard. But
my understanding is that you were saying if we're
to
gonna
have sex with children. It's a hot take in some circles, anime lovers and the like, but you know.
Okay, next question. Simulated child porn, loli stuff.
I think it's pretty sussy.
What does that mean?
I think that if you have an interest in that sort of stuff, you should definitely be checking yourself as to why. You know, like the thing that really bothers me about this shit, apart from the fact that anytime you want to look at like hentai on a hentai site, you have to like negate the tag loli and thus 50% of the site's content. The thing that bothers me is people who pretend there's no relationship whatsoever between like drawn loli shit and actual attraction to children. Of course there's a relationship between those things. It's ridiculous to pretend otherwise. So they need to be aware of that, if anything.
Are you saying that based on common sense, or is there any evidence of that?
I think it's categorical. I think that the fetishization of youth, to the extent that you're fetishizing the bodies or mentalities of underage people, is categorically harmful. Because even if somehow, and I don't know if there's any research indicating this, even if somehow you could find that there was zero correlation between any criminal behavior there at all, and you know, the widespread consumption of hentai, lolicon, whatever, you know, I still think that it normalizes quite negative things, you know. Or to put it another way, like if I was a kid again and I like found my dad looking at fucking big honkin' Hooters porn one day or some shit like that, that'd be awkward as hell. But you know, life goes on. The sun rises in the morning. But if I like walked into my parents' consuming loli or Shotokan or some shit like that, I think that would irreparably damage my trust in them. That there'd be some fundamental, like forevermore, some disconnect between them and my ability to trust them. And I think there's reason for that. It's not just like
I don't think we should get too personal here.
well, I'm just trying to explain that it's so I don't without working on data here, I feel like it's just bad to fetishize that kind of stuff. We fetishize the fuck, for instance, out of female youth. You know, we do it to men too, to an extent, but mostly to women. And this like evolves in so many creepy ways that things don't even get talked about, like child beauty pageants or this. The obsession with like barely legal
porn. Barely
legal. So it's holistic. It's not just loli or shota, though I think that's, you know, a particularly egregious outcropping of it. I think it's just this whole like long-standing global infatuation with young women. I guess youth in general, but the loli stuff's more of a problem than the shota stuff. And I think that should stop.
I'm gonna open a string of strip clubs in Las Vegas. And it's going to be called Mr. Girl's Whatever You Want Emporium. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And in one strip club, the strippers are 25, 24, 23, 22, all the way down to infants. All the women on the planet have to work here. In each club, everyone is the same age. Okay? So if you want to watch babies crawl around or you want to watch 100-year-olds, we'll start at 100. Which club do you think would be the most popular if this were to open tomorrow?
The closest argument you could make there, I think, is from European literature from ye olden days, and it seems like predation against girls spiked up around like 14 to 16. So if you could, the degenerate sex tourists, culturally, I don't think that we've done anything to appropriately discourage that kind of predatory behavior towards girls. So my guess is that it would be somewhere between 14 to 17.
The girls don't know that is it even predatory to go look at them? They don't know that you're looking at them.
I would say that it's predatory. If you put a camera in an underage girl's locker room and the police found it, I assure you that they would be able to very quickly, succinctly, and with great confidence explain to you what you did wrong.
All right, then I have to go take care of something.
I'm not. Okay. If you're trying to catch me in a hot take, it's not. I've argued raising the age of consent.
I'm not trying to catch. Do you think I'm trying to trap you after what I said to you? After I told you I was a pedophile, and you think I'm trying to? You think this is a sting? Listen, androids, fucking perfect replicas. The strip thing again. No one is getting hurt. They just look exactly like humans. My question is, which club is the most popular? My question is, where do you think we're at? And I'm asking it in kind of a exciting way because we're in public. But where do you think we're at? What is?
I genuinely don't think that much has been done to culturally disbar the average modern guy from the attitudes that we had back in antiquity towards women and attractiveness towards women.
And what number?
I think it would be somewhere from 14. No, I think it'd be somewhere from 14 to 17. I don't think we've changed.
Those are big. That's a big difference.
I have no idea, and I couldn't even begin to think by which categories I would separate them.
You know, I had someone I knew, who.
Just, you know, if you're going to admit to any crimes, I would really rather not be listed on whatever federal reports are filed. So I would prefer it be done in a video on your stream, unrelated to my own.
No, there's no crime. No crimes. I worked in Beverly Hills for many years as a personal trainer. In the gym, you get to know people. People from different countries with different norms. And man, the shit they would say about high school girls and tell me like that if they could be with a girl of any age, if it was socially acceptable, it would be 15. It was like... okay,
yeah, I think it's deeply unfortunate.
Yeah, I want to get to that in a second. But you're saying 14 to 17, and you will not, you won't pick a number?
I will absolutely not pick a number within the range. I'm referring only to my feelings on other people's predilections, not to my own. So you're not asking me for my preference. You're asking me what I expect of the average American.
No,
a group of which I have a very low impression.
Okay, but you don't want to say the number.
I don't have a number. Do you have a number? Is there a number you're looking for?
I think it's 15.
Well, I suppose we'll leave it to the historians to judge.
maybe 16.
Is this consideration in line with your desire to empathize with pedophiles, or is it something more personal than that?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, you sound like a pedophile, not a person who wants to promote empathy for socially misaligned people.
Why do I sound like a pedophile?
Because you're dedicating a considerable amount of thought to the subject of what type of underage girl people would be most interested in.
What color, if you had to guess what color their underwear would be, Vaush, what would you say?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
You see that? You people ask for debates, and what do we get? This is on you. What could we have had? Metroid Prime stream. What did we end up having? Whatever the fuck that was. Hey, you all owe me donations after that, okay? Massive fucking donations.
pedophilia.
Fuck Nazis. Hate Nazis.
Fuck Nazis, be a Nazi.
Hate Nazis.
Hate Jews or black people or gay people. I'm not anti-slavery, and I'm not pro-abolition.
Let me ask you more explicitly, okay?
I'm not pro-slavery, and I'm not anti-abolition. I'm not pro having child porn. I'm a pedophile. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. Clip. Don't clip. Don't clip. Don't pedophile. I'm a pedophile. That.
We fetishize the fuck